You know, I think most people use AI like a really smart intern that you've given absolutely zero instructions to.
That's a perfect way to put it.
They ask for a simple task, get a quick generic answer, and then they just stop there.
Yeah, and if you're only using it to write a quick email, you are using, less than 10% of its power.
Huh.
This deep dive is all about showing you what that other 90% looks like.
Yeah.
It honestly feels almost illegal.
Welcome to the deep dive. We're so glad you've joined us. Our source material today is this fantastic guide that details 27 specific hacks for configuration and integration. And the goal is pretty simple: to stop using AI randomly and start, actually building it to work for you.
Right, our mission here is to take these insights and build a truly customized, hyper-efficient personal assistant, one that actually anticipates what you need.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We've structured this to go from the foundation all the way to action.
Right.
First, we'll set up the foundation, that's personality and memory. Then we'll get into natural interaction, so voice and vision.
After that, we hit organization, and this is a big one, verified research.
Yeah.
And then we finish with the really advanced stuff, the agent capabilities.
And we have to start at the beginning, because if you don't actually set up the AI, it's just guessing.
It is. It's like hiring an assistant and not telling them how you like your coffee or what your priorities are. You can't be surprised when they spend all day on the wrong task.
That brings us right to our first big hack. Change the personality. The default AI is it's way too polite.
Oh, it's so cautious. It's like a customer service agent who's afraid to make you mad, all that. Certainly, I would be delighted to assist you. It just wastes time.
So much fun.
You got to cut that out right away. You can change it instantly with custom instructions. The source material suggests a prompt like, I want you to be direct and ruthless. Skip the polite intros and outros. Give me the answer immediately.
Okay, so if I make the instruction ruthless, does that make the AI less useful for, say, more sensitive things like writing a condolence email?
That's a really good question. And yes, it could. But you just have to remember it's dynamic. You keep that ruthless setting for your day-to-day. And for that one specific task, you just add, for this next request, use an empathetic tone.
Okay, so it's about being deliberate. That leads to the next one, the who am I hack. This feels critical.
It is. Because if you don't tell the AI who you are, you have to re-explain your context every single time. It's so inefficient.
You're starting from scratch every time.
Exactly. You have to tell it who you are in detail. Like the example, I am David, a small business owner, coffee shop in Seattle, 5 employees. I struggle with social media.
And the advice just completely shifts. It's not giving marketing tips for Starbucks anymore.
Right.
It's giving them to a small shop in Seattle for someone with a small team trying to get more local foot traffic. The advice becomes, 100% relevant.
And that builds directly into mastering the memory feature. This is where it starts building a real long-term memory about you.
Like remembering you're training for a marathon, and then weeks later you ask for a recipe, and it suggests a high-protein pasta dish because it remembers your goal.
It's incredibly powerful. But look, I'll admit something. I still wrestle with prompt drift myself.
Prompt drift?
Yeah. So when old, irrelevant context starts messing up your new answers. I was searching for a gift for my niece once, and for months after that, anytime I asked for a recommendation for anything, it just kept suggesting toys.
So you have to curate it.
You have to. You got to go in every month or so and just delete the old stuff that's not relevant anymore.
So if the AI is constantly learning from our profile, how do we make sure the advice we're getting is actually objective and not just what we want to hear?
We have to treat those instructions as a profile that we are intentionally curating, for our own biases.
So the setup ensures relevance, but we're still responsible for the objectivity.
Exactly. We provide the intent.
Okay, let's shift from setup to input. Typing is, it's slow. That brings us to the voice and camera hacks.
Yeah. Number 5 is real-time voice conversations. If you've got the mobile app, you can just talk to it like a person. It's not like those old robotic assistants anymore.
And you can interrupt it.
Yes.
You can use it during all that dead time. You're in the car doing dishes. It turns that time into a productive brainstorm.
The best example is using it for job interview prep. You tell it to be a tough interviewer, it asks you hard questions, listens to your answers, and gives you feedback right there. It's so much better than typing.
And then there's the camera hack. Show, don't tell. This is just a huge mental energy saver.
It is. Why spend 5 minutes trying to describe something? The first example, the plant doctor. I have killed so many houseplants. Now I just point my camera at a sad-looking fern and ask, what's wrong with this? How often do I water it? I've saved 3 plants so far.
That's amazing. Or the other example, the translator. You're looking at a menu in a foreign language.
Right.
You just point your camera at it and ask, which of these are spicy? And I don't eat pork.
Hmm.
It translates and filters at the same time.
So with voice and vision, are we finally turning the AI into, a true collaborator instead of just a text box?
Absolutely. The input shifts from rigid text to this flexible, human-like interaction.
Natural interfaces unlock truly conversational capabilities.
Okay, let's talk about organization.
Mhm.
Because if you use this a lot, your chat history becomes a complete disaster.
It really does.
Which leads us to projects. Think of projects as special folders for your big goals. So you might have one for Q1 marketing plan or home renovation.
And the superpower here is that you can upload files directly to that project, your spreadsheets, your PDFs, photos,
Yeah.
and the AI just knows the background. You don't have to keep re-explaining the budget every time you ask for a new idea.
It's a huge time saver. And next is Canvas mode,
Mm.
because copying and pasting a long draft from the chat into another app is just, it's clunky.
So Canvas is like a Google Doc built right inside the chat.
Exactly. And you can just highlight a sentence and say, make this funnier or shorten this paragraph. You're editing it collaboratively in place. That's great. Now let's talk about accuracy, because we know AI can hallucinate, make things up.
It can, which is why deep research mode is so important. You have to force it to actually browse the internet and check its facts.
And that's hack number 10. You activate it with deep. The example given is asking for a comparison table of laptops for video editing with, specific RAM and processor speeds.
Yeah, and it'll take 2 to 5 minutes, but it's worth it. It stops guessing and it starts citing its sources. It's visiting multiple websites to verify everything. It's an investment in accuracy.
And hack 13, document comparison. This seems like a lifesaver for anyone who deals with contracts.
Oh, for sure. You upload file A, the old contract, and file B, the new one, and just ask it, list every single difference and tell me specifically if the payment terms changed.
So with all this organization and research, how does the AI help protect our time without us sacrificing objectivity?
By automating all that synthesis and research, it eliminates the tedious repetition. But we still have to be critical of the sources it chooses to browse.
So organization minimizes friction, but human skepticism remains absolutely essential.
You got it.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're diving into the really advanced stuff, where the AI becomes an autonomous agent.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We're getting into what feels like the other 90% of AI's power now, agent mode. First, let's just quickly define what an agent is.
Right. An agent is basically a tool that can do multiple complex steps to finish a job.
Right.
All without you having to constantly give it input. It executes a full plan.
Which brings us to agent mode, hack 16. Let's use that restaurant example from the guide because it's perfect.
Okay, so you're planning a trip to Chicago. You start by asking, find 15 of the best Italian restaurants in Chicago. That's step 1.
But then the agent keeps going. You tell it. Now go to their websites. Find their menu prices, their star ratings, and find the links to their Instagram pages.
Right. Steps 2, 3, and 4, all automated. And for the final step, compile all of that data into a downloadable spreadsheet for me. And it just does it. It goes out, browses 15 different websites, scrapes the specific information you asked for, and delivers a finished spreadsheet.
It's incredible.
Whoa! I mean, just imagine scaling that. That level of detailed, multi-step work. To hire a person to do that would take hours.
A ton of tedious work.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that same idea applied to learning with study mode. This turns the AI from a search engine into a real tutor.
Right. So instead of asking for a big summary of a topic, you give it a structured prompt.
Yeah, you say, teach me one concept at a time, then stop and quiz me. Don't move on until I get the answer right.
It forces you into active learning, active recall. You're actually going to retain the information so much better than just reading an article.
It's like having a very patient but very strict teacher.
Now, for the technical hacks, for non-technical people, hack 22, the data interpreter. This is amazing.
This is a game changer. It gives everyone the power of data analysis without writing a single line of code.
So you take that sales spreadsheet that's just sitting on your computer, you upload it, and you just ask it in plain English, which month had the highest sales? And can you make me a bar chart to show that?
And it does. Right there in the chat window. No pivot tables, no messing with Excel formulas. You look like a data genius in about 30 seconds.
And it doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
Hack 24, building simple websites.
Yeah, you could just prompt it, to write the HTML code for a landing page. You
Right.
can say, I want a page for a coaching business. Use brown and cream colors.
And you can see a live preview. If you don't like the color, you just say change the brown to a light blue, and it updates the code and the preview for you instantly.
So if we're letting the AI handle the research and the math, what is the most critical skill the human still needs to master?
It's critical thinking. You still have to vet the output, question the sources it used, and ultimately decide the final strategy.
So human judgment remains the most valuable part of the entire workflow.
Exactly. Okay, final segment. The bonus hacks. These are the ones that feel like they break the rules, connecting the AI across your phone, your computer, your whole digital world.
The first one is Siri integration for iPhone users. Siri basically becomes a gateway to ChatGPT's much more powerful brain.
So you can give a complex multi-step command like, hey Siri, ask ChatGPT to write a bedtime story about a dragon named Bob, and then save it to my notes app.
And it just does it
What?
seamlessly. Siri handles the integration, ChatGPT handles the creative work.
Okay, then there's connecting apps with something called the Model Context Protocol, MCP.
It sounds complicated, but it's just a way of saying the AI can now talk to your other apps, not just read data from them.
Ah, so it moves from being passive, like reading your calendar, to being active.
Exactly. It can now send an email for you or add an event to your calendar. It becomes a true action-taking agent that does the clicking and typing for you.
That's a huge leap. And the final one, ChatGPT Atlas.
This is a totally new browser experience with the AI built right into the engine. The big feature here is what they call agent actions for shopping.
So the example is you're planning a beach day. You can just tell Atlas, find the best price for sunscreen, a big towel, and a cooler on Amazon. Add them to my cart.
And it goes and does it.
Yeah.
It acts as your personal shopper. It completely removes the friction of opening 10 tabs and comparing prices yourself. One command and you're done.
So if we just summarize the whole journey we've been on, the AI moves from a passive calculator, which is where most people are stuck, to this active, personalized agent that can handle complex setup, visual input, workflow, and even take action across all your devices.
That's the big idea. But we just covered 27 hacks. If you try to do all of them at once, you're just going to get overwhelmed.
You'll give up.
You will. So the challenge for you, for everyone listening, is just pick one.
Right. Pick one hack that solves a real pain point you have right now. Maybe it's voice mode for your commute. Maybe it's projects for your messy files.
And just use that one hack until it becomes a habit. The people who really succeed with AI aren't the ones who know all the tricks. They're the ones who use the tools consistently to save themselves time.
So as you think about this, here's a final thought. Since the AI's memory feature is constantly learning and customizing itself based on your life, your goals, your preferences, what happens when your personal assistant knows you that well? What does all that hyper-personalized knowledge do to your own ability to seek out ideas that might challenge you?
That's a good question to sit with.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We really encourage you to go explore the source material to get the details on all 27 of these incredible hacks.